Breaking news! The Eagles' offseason is sending shockwaves through the NFL. Some of you may love what Howie Roseman is doing, but others, not so much. But no matter which side you're on, one thing is clear. Howie knows what he's doing. If you agree with this, hit that like button hard. If possible, write something like this: Go Eagles! Let's fly to the Super Bowl again. Now I want to talk about something that has generated a lot of discussion among analysts and fans. Yes, let's talk about Saquon Barkley. The Eagles star just secured a huge payday, a 2-year, $41.2 million contract extension, the richest deal for a running back in NFL history. Let that sink in. The Eagles didn't just pay him, they rewarded him for his unreal performance last season, a year in which he wasn't just good, he was historic. This is a franchise that values loyalty and production, and they've sent a clear message: if you dominate in Philadelphia, you'll be taken care of. But it's not all about retention. The Eagles made some aggressive changes, including trading away Kenny Pickett to the Cleveland Browns. In return, they got Dorian Thompson-Robinson and a 5th-round pick. It's a move that speaks volumes. The team believes in Tanner McKee as the backup behind Jalen Hurts, and now they bring in DTR, a raw but talented quarterback with potential. Howie Roseman saw an opportunity and took it. On defense, things got interesting. The Eagles let go of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, a move that's raising plenty of eyebrows. This guy was the heartbeat of the secondary, a vocal leader, a playmaker, and the kind of personality that thrives in the Philly environment. Was he a handful? Sure. Were those fiery tweets at 4 a.m. something you had to deal with? Absolutely. But does that outweigh his impact on the field? That's the debate raging in every Eagles fan's mind right now. To fill the void, the Eagles added cornerback Adoree Jackson, a veteran with experience and solid production. But is he truly a one-for-one replacement for Gardner-Johnson? No chance. He's a different kind of player. Meanwhile, Josh Uche joins the defensive front on a value deal, just under $2 million for a pass rusher with serious upside. A few years ago, he racked up 11.5 sacks. If he could even sniff that kind of production in Vic Fangio's system, this could be the steal of the offseason. And then there's Zach Bond. Last year, the Eagles took a chance on him with a 1-year, $3 million deal. The result? One of the best signings in the NFL. He was a Defensive Player of the Year finalist and a first-team All-Pro. This time around, the Eagles weren't about to let him walk. 3 years, $51 million. He earned every penny of that deal, and his return solidifies a defense that finished as the #1 unit in football last season. Offensively, things are shifting as well. The Eagles added A.J. Dillon on a 1-year deal, a bruising back who could fill the LeGarrette Blount role from years past. Short yardage situations? He's your guy. Pair him with Saquon Barkley and rookie Will Shipley, and suddenly, the backfield looks stacked. The tight end room is another area that saw movement. Harrison Bryant and Keelan Grandson both signed, raising serious questions about Dallas Goedert's future in Philly. With the team stacking up depth at the position, is this the writing on the wall for Goedert? Don't be surprised if another move is coming. So, what's the big picture here? Howie Roseman is playing the long game. This free agency period wasn't about splash moves. It was about depth, financial flexibility, and setting up for sustained success. The Eagles now have 21 draft picks over the next 2 years, including a staggering 17 picks in the first 5 rounds. That's a war chest of assets, giving them the ability to reload without breaking the bank. There's some risk involved. Banking on young talent to develop isn't foolproof, but the Eagles are betting that their coaching staff, their scouting, and their culture will continue to churn out stars. Jalen Carter, Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, and Quinyon Mitchell will all need extensions soon, and the Eagles are positioning themselves to keep their homegrown talent. So here's the real question, Philly. Do you trust the process? Do you believe Howie Roseman is making the right moves, even if they aren't the flashy ones? Or are you worried that letting go of guys like Gardner-Johnson and making mostly low-risk signings could backfire? Drop your thoughts in the comments. One thing is undeniable. This Eagles front office is playing chess while the rest of the league is playing checkers. But are they making the right moves? Or are they rolling the dice on a strategy that could backfire? Let's break this down even further. We already talked about the major moves, but there are a few signings that might fly under the radar now but could end up being game changers down the road. Take Kenyon Green, for example, a former first-round pick out of Texas A&M. He was once seen as a cornerstone offensive lineman for the Houston Texans, but injuries and inconsistency derailed his time there, and now he gets a fresh start in Philly. Jeff Stoutland, the Eagles' legendary offensive line coach, has turned plenty of rough prospects into elite players. If he can work his magic on Green, this could be a sneaky good move. Another name that jumps out? Avery Williams. This guy is the definition of a Swiss Army knife. Originally drafted as a defensive defensive back, he transitioned to running back, played special teams, and even lined up at slot receiver. He's coming off an ACL injury, but when healthy, he's a dynamic returner and gadget player. Think of him as a potential Boston Scott replacement, but with even more versatility. Then there's Patrick Johnson, a depth piece at linebacker who spent time with the Giants before re-signing with the Eagles. Not a headline move, but with injuries always a factor, depth at linebacker is crucial. And let's not forget about the long snapper situation. Charlie Hewlett is coming in to replace Rick Lovato, who was part of both Super Bowl winning Eagles teams. Special teams play might not get the spotlight, but when a long snapper struggles, you feel it. Jake Elliott had some inconsistencies last year, and part of that could have been due to the snapping. If Hewlett brings more stability, this seemingly minor signing could actually have a major impact. Now, let's talk about what all of this means for the Eagles' 2025 season. The biggest takeaway? This roster is deep. It's not just about the stars, though they have plenty of them. It's about the overall strength from top to bottom. Philadelphia is ensuring that they have quality depth at nearly every position, which is crucial for another Super Bowl run. But let's address the elephant in the room. The Eagles lost some major pieces. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Josh Sweat, and Darius Slay were all key contributors. How do you replace that? The answer lies in the coaching staff and the development of young players. Vic Fangio is now leading the defense, and his scheme is all about putting players in the best position to succeed. The Eagles are betting that a combination of their coaching, the additions they've made, and their ability to develop talent will keep them in the Super Bowl conversation. And remember, free agency isn't over. The Eagles still have the draft, and with all those picks, they have plenty of options. Do they add another edge rusher to help replace Sweat? Do they target another defensive back to fill the hole left by Gardner-Johnson? There are still moves to be made, and you better believe Howie Roseman is far from finished. So, Eagles fans, now it's your turn. You've seen the moves. You've heard the reasoning. Now, we want to know, how do you feel about it? Are you confident that this roster is built for another Super Bowl run? Or are you concerned that losing key players could derail their chances? Drop a comment and let us know your thoughts. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed, because this offseason is just getting started, and we'll be breaking down every move, every rumor, and every storyline that impacts your Philadelphia Eagles. There's still a lot to unpack, and if you're an Eagles fan, you know this team isn't just thinking about the short term. Every move Howie Roseman makes has long-term implications, and that's exactly what we're seeing with this free agency strategy. It's not about winning the offseason with flashy signings. It's about maintaining championship-level football for years to come. Let's dig deeper into the running back situation, because this backfield could be one of the most dangerous in the league. Saquon Barkley is the centerpiece, no doubt about that. But bringing in A.J. Dillon on a one-year deal and pairing him with rookie Will Shipley gives the Eagles a backfield with a perfect mix of power, speed, and versatility. So, Eagles fans, do you buy into this vision? Do you trust Howie, or are there moves you wish the team had made? Let's hear it in the comments. Grade the Eagles offseason so far, A, B, C, D, or F? Where do you stand?